Hey everyone, this is going to be my first video on Hot Wheels, custom Hot Wheels. Been doing Hot Wheels for a long time, customizing them, and started out in the early 80s just chopping them. I was that kid in the neighborhood who's had older brothers, and everyone else in the neighborhood was the age of my older brother, so when they outgrew their Hot Wheels, they gave them to me. So I looked in the closet and found my dad's rotary tool. I think it was a Dremel. It might have been an off-brand. And I just went berserk. You know, starting out with a hammer and such. What really started it, though, was my dad. My dad instilled in me at an early age a passion for cars. The ability to look at a car and tell you what year it was, the significant things about the car, you know, to be able to look at a 1954 versus a 1958 Chevrolet and tell you which year it was, how to tell the difference between the years. And, you know, a lot of people will look at a 56 Buick and say it's a 57 Chevy because they don't know. So that's one of the things. The other thing is my dad also created toys. We were just one of those poor families, and my grandfather said, you know, if you want toys, make them. So my dad set about chopping and carving a block of wood and created this. It's pretty fascinating. I've always been fascinated with it, and when he passed away I was just thrilled to be able to have it. It's a simple block of wood. It's a tractor trailer. Trailer comes off, and I don't know the story, you know, behind why it was created, but I do know that my grandfather was pretty good at carving and whittling and could do some pretty amazing stuff, so my dad likely just found some tools and made it. But I've always loved this vehicle, and it means a lot to me. It rolls, but of course, you know, the wheels aren't exactly, you know, that great. It's out of wood. So anyways, so that's what got it started. When I started chopping cars, I just basically took a hacksaw or cut-off wheel, and I would just create things. And a lot of times, you know, this is the day before I figured out super glue. So I would use hot glue and just put cars together, such as this beast right here. Started out as the Hot Wheels stunt car. It was the Firebird, the fancy car, I don't know. But I just went to town putting different things on it. That's some type of wing from another car. It's a custom-made spoiler in the front. And basically the hood is hot glue. Nice little effect of the mud on the sides. Just textured hot glue. The engine you may recognize, if you can't. That's actually from the Matchbox 1957 Chevrolet, the one with the flip hood. It's a pretty popular car at the time. And of course the chassis is, I believe it's a Maisto. It's just a used chassis with big wheels and fun to play with. And if you're going to do Crash Up Derby, why not have something that could possibly fall apart? You'll notice the bottom here is actually wood. You can't really tell that in the video. So that was one of the things that I did. I'm going to try to be a little bit more brief. A lot of the vehicles that I got into were like Mad Max type vehicles, and I would make like little things. You know, around 1985, 86 was when Back to the Future came out, and so you just put a little pack on the back of a car, and you have a car that can do something special. So you put a backpack from a G.I. Joe, the flamethrower, and of course my dog got a hold of this and chewed up some stuff. But I had a fancy grill and did a paint job and fun stuff. I found a decal that said Enforcer on it. I don't know if you can see that or not. But it's just, I started lobbing cars together. This is when Racing Champions came out, and this was their first introduction of rear rider tires, so I was able to do a wheel swap. Took off the plastic base attachment that said what the car was. This is actually a Dodge Daytona from Matchbox when it first came out. So, a lot of fun. I wish my dog hadn't got a hold of it, but anyways. As time progressed, I got a little bit better with my Road Warrior vehicles, and the cars were cheaper. I went to with another Maisto, and I put this Porsche 928. The windows open, and that is plexiglass windows held on with, of course, hot glue. Both doors open. Put a little roll cage on the inside. It's left-wheel drive, and I made it into a coupe instead of a hatchback with, of course, a rear window. Custom paint job. And I've got it attached to this base, so I can't really take it out, but fun stuff with the machine gun. I got the idea from, believe it or not, Leonard Part 6, Bill Cosby movie, and he had a Porsche 928. It had a turret on the top. I didn't have room for a turret, so I just made a makeshift machine gun, which is really nothing more than a smokestack and a piece of plastic. So, and I was really sucky at painting, so painting matte military colors was a no-brainer. But as time progressed, I wanted to get a little bit better with my painting, and I had some decals, and I decided to try my hand at doing a blend. And this is 1985. I mean, I graduated high school in 88, so if it gives you any idea the hell I was doing with my time. But nice custom interior, gold speakers, gold treatment on the steering wheel, two-tone interior. I mean, it's pretty crappy by today's standards, but just had some leftover decals from a Pro Street Thunderbird that I had done, 1/25th scale model, and figured I could try to blend it into this. So I was pretty pleased with that. I tried more with my painting, did different things. This was, unfortunately, one of the Larry Woods tow trucks that had his phone number on it. And I just didn't realize back then the value that it would be. And it's no big deal. I don't care. I mean, it's a Hot Wheel, for crying out loud. But another car that was taken apart, custom interior. You know, that made them to where they rolled. I practiced my hand at just steady painting. Treated the front. Again, this is like 1985. I was, you know, I had girls on my mind, not Hot Wheels. But treated the little sirens there with the silver trim, and then did the red overcoat and some minor treatments to the rear. Nothing fancy. But then I wanted to get cut crazy, and I wanted to do fancy things, so I tried my hand at joining cars together. Yes, I wanted to make a limousine, and my first crack was just make it work. And this is Bondo, hot glue, and 2 Lincoln Town Cars from Matchbox. Yes, it rolls, but man, it looks like it's been through hell. Of course, there's the Bondo on the bottom. Pretty simple cut. I just wanted to see if it would work, and so I've kept this all this time as a reminder that, you know what, when you have an idea, go with it. Got a little bit better with the limos, and the painting, of course, you can't really tell with this because it's been through hell and back, but then I did it with a Corvette. Of course, if you look inside, you can see the Bondo. This is the Hong Kong casting with a flip hood. Basically just joined the front to the rear and made a limousine, Corvette limousine, dual seats with, of course, the suitcase in the back. Got a little bit fancier with my painting. I'll try to speed this up a little bit. And I wanted to see if I could merge different chassis with different bodies. Another decal treatment, but this, of course, is the 56 Ford, the one that had the motorcycles in the back. But the base, believe it or not, is a Gremlin grinder, Hong Kong base. These are red lines painted over with wheels to match. Custom bed, but you'll see that it is a Gremlin grinder. I don't know if you can read that, but Hong Kong base. And it fit with very little grinding. So you see there, it's kind of a neat insert. Had to shave the front fenders in a little bit to get it to blend. But not bad when I didn't know anything about customizing. Then got a little bit more crafty, and this is actually still pretty cool to this day. The big movie of the time was Nightmare on Elm Street. I'm going to wrap this up with this one, and we'll get into more recent customs. I promise I've gotten better over the years, and you may be impressed. This is the first video. This is the Matchbox Supervan, and I decided to hand paint Freddy Krueger. This, of course, is Fred's van. And I don't know how much detail I can pull in with this camera. But it's a face feature, hand painted. Of course, if you didn't know, it says it on the back, Fred's van, of course. And mirror image, look at that. He's completely facing the other way. I had a Ford decal to put on the front, but the headlights and the turn signals, of course, were hand painted. This was a pretty cool casting from Matchbox. Had the centerline wheels. The air intakes was a pretty cool effect. You don't see like super vans that often, but this was in fact the super van from Matchbox. So that's my first video. I'm going to hopefully post some more that are some cool customs, the stuff I've done over the years. I've gotten into doing those trucks that carry things. Can't think of the word, but anyways, Pooch, and everybody screws his name up, was the one that inspired me to do this, because he does what I do, but he does it so much better. And I just thought I would show my stuff and let him know that there's another goofball out there that loves to cut up Hot Wheels. Hope you enjoy the video. Nothing really to subscribe to. My first video. Thank you.